With your latest news, I'm April Cummings. 219 COVID-19 tests have been carried out since Monday. There are 2 positives, asymptomatic travelers who tested positive following routine screening. The number of people in isolation, 745. The total number of COVID-19 vaccines administered to date, 10,062, of which 2,339 represent an individual's second dose. Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee says he's pleased with the rollout of the program in the Cayman Islands so far, thanking everyone who has stepped forward to date.
While the crisis has far from passed, there is every reason to be optimistic for our future.
The Premier touches on vaccines and the border as he speaks to members of Cayman's business community. Radio Cayman's Carsley Fuller has more.
Speaking at the Chamber of Commerce's annual general meeting last week, the Honorable Alda McLaughlin told members the rollout of the vaccine is going well in Cayman, adding that the country can be confident that its population will have a great deal of protection against COVID-19. However,
changing circumstances mean that of necessity, today's plans must be flexible. With the arrival of new COVID-19 strains and concerns over how much protection the current vaccines will offer against these new variants, it has become increasingly challenging to develop a firm timetable to get the Cayman tourism economy up and running again.
As a result, Mr. McLaughlin says Cayman businesses will most likely have to wait until the end of the year before getting back to a more normal operation. And as for potentially reopening the border in March,
just a few weeks ago, I was relatively confident, given the plan that we had, that we would be able to reopen the borders, having had our people vaccinated by the end of March. The game has changed completely now. The scientists are far from certain that the vaccination will be effective against all of the many variants which are constantly being discovered.
The Premier says the country has come too far for the virus to re-enter the community and, quote, rip through these islands.
Given concerns with the new strains detected in travelers coming to Cayman, we must reassess. My caucus and cabinet are awaiting updated information on our current vaccination program and the situation with COVID-19, including the new strains, and the impact these will have on plans to reopen the border. Whilst we need to consider how best to further open up, any decisions taken will be done with safety and public health as the major considerations.
Government remains committed to finding a way to reopen the border as soon as possible safely. And Mr. McLaughlin says he's hopeful that Cayman will enjoy a, quote, improved stay-over tourism high season as the country closes out 2021. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Carsley Fuller.
In the meantime, the economy, education, pension reform, and health insurance, as well as membership and industry engagement, are all top priorities for the Cayman Islands Chamber this year. Radio Cayman's Paula Cal has more.
During the AGM last week, President Mike Gibbs told members Chamber's relationship with government will continue to be at the forefront of its advocacy agenda. He says the Chamber will continue its quarterly meetings with Cabinet, monthly meetings with Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman, and its meetings with other government ministries and departments as necessary, share the business community's views and provide feedback on key policy and public sector administrative and regulatory matters. For the first time in Chamber history, 4 industry associations will be represented on the Council, providing an invaluable resource in helping the country get its economy back on track. Candidates' forums will also be taking place soon, continuing the Chamber's practice leading up to the election of hosting a series of forums covering each of the 19 constituents. He said another focus for 2021 would be to elevate the status of the Chamber within the community. For Radio Cayman News, I'm Paula Cal.
In other local news, Perlina McGaw-Lumsden announces her candidacy for Georgetown West as an independent candidate in the May elections. Embarking on her 3rd campaign for office, McGaw-Lumsden says she plans to share her perspective on some of the most pressing issues facing the Cayman Islands, including housing and cost of living, employment opportunities, and unemployment. The Need Assessment Unit's newest initiative to help vulnerable clients better access services gets off to a strong start. As CIG-TV's Donna Bush reports, the pilot Our District program has been well received following its first 6 district visits.
According to the unit's director, Ms. Tamara Hurlston, in its first 24 hours in total operation, the NAU and their district pilot assisted 41 persons. 2-person teams completed 6 3- to 4-hour shifts working out of East End Civic Center and the North Side, Bordentown, and West Bay public libraries. Officers assisted clients in filling out assessment forms and processing queries. The The 6-month pilot proposed by the Ministry of Community Affairs and Councillor Austin Harris aims to reduce the need of older persons, those with medical ailments and those with mobility issues, from having to travel to the NAU's main office. Now, the Friday walk-in services rotating across the districts will subsequently limit the number of vulnerable persons that are exposed to the threat of infection while accessing NAU services. The pilot program closes at the end of June, but for full details on the NAU's district visit schedule, you can go online to www.gov.ky notice board.
That is CIGTV's Donna Bush. This month, the Health Services Authority plans to explore how the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted cancer care in the Cayman Islands. Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallego has more on their upcoming public forum.
Under the theme of cancer care during COVID-19, the public forum will look at the response of the healthcare systems and cancer support groups' rapid reorganization of cancer services to ensure that patients continue to receive essential care while minimizing exposure to the SARS-CoV-2 infection. It will also explore how the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted the spectrum of cancer care, including delaying diagnosis and treatment. HSA officials say the forum is an opportunity to mobilize all relevant parties affected, from cancer care experts and support groups to cancer patients and the public, to discuss the impact in a holistic and transparent way. The forum will feature presentations by cancer care experts of the authority, including HSA oncologist, hematologist Dr. Lundy Richards, and a panel discussion and display booths of cancer support groups in the Cayman Islands, including the Cayman Islands Cancer Society, Jasmine, and the Cayman Islands Cancer Registry. Patients, survivors, and attendees will also be able to share their experiences and ask questions. The event will be held on World Cancer Day, that's February 4th at the Wharf Restaurant from 5:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. The HSA will also light up the Cayman Islands Hospital in lavender, the awareness color of all cancers, to commemorate the annual observance. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
2 new Prouder Than billboards are unveiled in Cayman Brac, marking the Sister Islands' past and present era of Proud of Them honorees. Youth Minister, the Honourable Juliana O'Connor Conley, at a recent unveiling, expressed optimism the billboards will motivate young people to excel.
Although Cayman Brac has had many bright young people, these two have had exceptional achievements. Being that these are the first Proud of Them billboards in Cayman Brac, history will certainly record it in a positive light that your hard work and dedication has certainly paid off.
Another 2 billboards featuring past Proud of Them honorees will be relocated to Cayman Brac in the coming months. For more on the Proud of Them program, check out youthservices.ky. That is your latest local news from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.